advantage of a particular feature, then we will quickly shift to busy. And there we will see the detailed implementation of each and every feature. There might be some features which we just have to explain to you. There is no need of doing the practical because those are very small feature you will be able to understand just when I am explaining you verbally. And you might have some doubts and queries during the session. So as you know, we have a very well tested setup. Anybody who is having any kind of doubt, he will place message in this webinar chat, and after that we will take one by one the queries of the partner. So we will begin this training session now. We will see the power features that has been given, and some of the features are in demand for a very long time, but finally our R&D, after their hard work, they have given this feature. The number one we are going to talk about today is the QR code facility that is being provided in Busy Release 6.0. QR code, everybody knows now what is the QR code. You pay through Paytm, Amazon Pay, and you go to the shopkeepers. They have displayed their QR code. Pay using that. So this is not a new thing now. Everybody knows what the QR code is. QR code is basically the two-dimensional this barcode with a white background, and it contains information that is being encoded in that particular QR code. So now the question is, why QR code? You must know the advantage of each and every feature. Why I am telling you this? Just knowing the implementation, how the QR code is configured in Busy, how you are going to implement this is not going to help in your sales. When you are pitching your sales to a particular client, you must generate demand in the mind of the customer. You must create demand. Then only you will be able to sell your product properly. And for doing that, you must know the advantages of a particular feature. So both the things you should be aware about. The implementation part, that is okay, you can learn, but you must know, everybody must know what are the advantages of a particular feature. Then when you are meeting with a client, you will confidently tell, sir, these are the advantages that you are going to get through this feature. Then his mind will be able to understand it, and you can easily close the sales. So now when we talk about the advantages of QR code, you know that barcode is already available, but you can say it's an advanced form of barcode. You know that in mobile there were 2G, 3G, 4G. Now we are talking about 5G. New technologies are coming. So when you compare it with barcode, it has advantage. It can store much more data in a less space. This is one of a big advantage of QR code. Why the people are using QR code these days. And when we talk about the scanner, scanning of the barcode, you need a bulky type of device to scan it. But QR code device are not that much bulky, and you can even scan the QR code and find out what the information is hidden, is encoded with the help of a cell phone, mobile phone. You can download from the Play Store the QR code app, and you can easily scan and see what the information is hidden in a particular QR code. Then the most important is the versatility of QR code. This QR code in terms of Busy, if I tell you, let's compare it with the item barcode. Item barcode is for items. You can create item barcode, you can print, you can give the item information there, but QR code is versatile in nature. For each and everything, you can design the QR code. It's the company TIN number, party TIN number, your bank details, the HSN code that you are billing, your website link, anything that you want to give in the QR code that the other person can use using the digital device can be encoded. So versatility is also an important feature that you should be looking. Okay, the next slide is the how we are going to do the implementation of QR code in Busy. So the steps are very simple. Like any other implementation in Busy, we have a track record of giving the things in most simpler way. The QR code also is a very simpler way, and especially when you compare it with our competitor, the way they have given QR code and the way we have given QR code, you will find it much simpler in Busy for implementation. Now there are 3 steps involved in the implementation of QR code. First of all, you have to design the QR code format. That format will contain those information which you want to be encoded in the form of QR code. A separate format will be created. Secondly, you will tag that format. You can call that as a sub format. QR code format is a sub format. Then you will come into the main format of the invoice design or any other document. You will call that sub format there, that I need to print QR code here, and the information is already in the my designed QR code format. Then the printing and the scanning of QR code. Now we will see the implementation in Busy. I will do it slowly so that nothing is missed and everybody is able to understand it very clearly. Okay, this is a sample data that we are going to use today for the presentation. Everybody knows this invoice designing part, how to do that, how to call the fields. So similarly, we will do it here. So first, I will create a blank format using a QR code so that I can tell you how to design QR code. Then we will make it more complex and use it in the actual invoice. So that's how I'm going to do it today. We will use this format 1 to give the information related to QR code. See, when you are designing QR code, there will always be 2 formats. Remind, one format will contain information that you want to print in QR code. That format you will not use in printing. You will use other format for printing, and in that format you will call the link of the design format. So this is the, let's say one is the design format, and we will configure it. So how we are going to configure it? Everybody knows F4. There is a QR code field is available that you will use in the advanced design when you are designing the main invoice. Okay, so you are not going to use here. How we are going to do here now? There is another field, Alt F4. Now there is a list of database you can see on the right side. Now you have to decide which information you want to put in the QR code. So we will do it in a very simple way. Let's say my company name should be there in the QR code. Then from the list, you can select your email address. Like this, you will select the fields that you want to be encoded. You will use Alt F4. The list will be highlighted. This is the same list that you use for the invoice designing, because we are in the invoice designing. From these fields, anything you can call. Why I was telling you that the QR code is versatile? Because you can give any information from the document designing fields that you want to put in the QR code, not just the item information. See, a list is populated. You want to come here, you can select field from the VAT. If you want VAT field, again, you want to select from the header field, invoice number or voucher number or anything, you can select from here. These fields will be displayed here. You can browse and select your respective field that you want to give in the QR code. All these fields, anything you can choose here. Okay. So we will take for an example, voucher bill number. This is the information that you want in the QR code. We are doing it very simple. This is the information that we are going to print in the QR code. I have saved this format. So this format, one format, you are not going to use it for the printing. This is for giving the information that you want to print in the invoice. Now I am going to create another invoice 2. 2 will be my main invoice that I will be using for printing purpose. If you see this all D, these things will be loaded here automatically, and from there you can select the field and you can put anywhere, wherever you want to give the invoice, whether it's in the QR code, whether it's in the header part or in the body part or in the footer part, anywhere you can give. So you can see that this all the default is loaded, but I am not going to teach you initially through this. You will get confused. So we will do it in a simpler form. We'll come to our header part. Here you will use this QR code field, not in the QR code format. This is the print format. You will select the QR code. Now it is asking you the format name. See, there is a F here. F represent the format, and here is a caption format name. So you will change it. As you know, our QR code format is 1. It's just like the SQL query. You design SQL query, you give name of the SQL query, and in the database fields in the document design, you just call the name of that SQL query. So similarly, in the QR code, you will design the information in the QR code, give it a name, and that name you have to give here. So this is a very simple form we have done. See, this is the QR code. Now what information it contains? What information this QR code is having? This QR code, if you see, we have given the command take information from the format A. And whatever is information is provided in the format A, that will be QR coded. So this is the simpler form we have given the implementation of QR code. Now you see this. Another thing I'm going to tell you. Let's come to this format again. Let's come to this format again. Using these fields, you can give multiple QR codes. You can design multiple QR format and you can give multiple 1, 2, 3, wherever you want. But there is another field. You want to give something text. How you are going to give that? There is no need of designing the QR code format for that and tagging here. What you can do, you will press F4, select the QR code, and here instead of F, you can give T. T means it represents the text value, whatever you want to be embedded in the QR code. You will remove this. You will type here. you can type your website here. Let's say this is a website. So this you want to be QR coded so that anybody who reads this QR code, automatically he will be taken to your website. Okay, so these are the two fields. You see it very clearly. One is the F. F you will call the format. Another is the T. T you will type the text form. So this type of QR code will be printed. Now, few things I will like to tell you about the QR code here before we move forward further on this QR code. This QR code is always the square shape. The length and breadth will be equal. And right now in Busy, we have just given this feature. So right now you cannot increase the size of the QR code. The size is fixed 2.3 centimeter to 2.3 centimeter. This is fixed. When you take printout, you can zoom it on PDF or anything, it will increase. But when you take printout, it will be of the 2 by 3 centimeter by 2 by 3 centimeter. Now we will move further how to use this QR code field in the actual invoice. Now I have a invoice here and print. Now we are going to use this. Let's make it a bit complex, make it a bit more practical. This is the QR code format that I have designed. Let's see the information in this. I have given company GST number, IT PAN, email. Remember, in this QR code format, you don't have to use this F4 field for the QR code, not here. This is a confusion. Somebody called me yesterday and was asking whether you have to give it here. No, you don't have to give it here. In this format, you just have to give the fields that you want to be embedded. Now see this actual format. It's a bit complex. Everything is there, practical scenario, and you will see how this QR code is placed. Let's see the header part. I have placed two QR codes. First, I will show you the preview. Then you will be able to understand it better. This is a format. One QR code is on the top. One QR code is here. So how to do that? What points you should keep in mind? This is a practical scenario because you are not going to do the blank QR code. Mostly you will be doing in the invoice or in the order or some other formats. Let's see this. We come to the header part. Here in the top, I have given this one format. For this QR, I have given here F means format. Now it will ask me, give me the name of the format. I have given QR here. Similarly, there is a other format also that I have given QR code, text, and the name of the website. Like this. Remember, here I have left some blank lines below the QR code. Now this is the important thing to watch. These are the blank line because QR code will expand towards its right and towards downward from this particular position. So there should not be anything on the right side and on the left, the below this QR code. It will take something between 5 and 6 line. So these things should be blank, 2.3 centimeter. Otherwise, that will be overwritten. Then you have to adjust your QR code. In the top, you must be seeing there is no space because the ITC eligibility is on the central part, and this is on the central part. So space is already there. So that is not overwritten. So two QR code I have given. Now we will see how they are going to print in the invoice. This is the practical thing that you will be showing to the customers. This is our invoice. Okay, I will be using print format, not the QR code format. QR code format is just having the information. So I will be using this print format where this QR code fields are provided. I will select this and let's see. You can see this PDF. There is a QR code on the top. There is a QR code here. What it represent? See, first of all, it increase the beauty of the invoice that you are delivering. It's look good when it's with the QR code. Secondly, it's digitally information. There is information inside this in the digital form. When you scan this top QR code, information related to company TIN number, my voucher number, my company name, whatever I have encoded, that will be scanned. And here you can see the second one, order online on our website. There is a website link. If you click this, scan this, sorry, you will directly be routed to the website of that particular customer. So this is the small information that you can give. And one example I have given you, but you will be actually going to the client side. You will be getting the actual requirement from the client. Then slowly, you will be able to build a better QR code solution for the clients. But the important thing that I told you earlier is this create a demand in the mind of the customer is very important. You have to tell the utility of this particular feature, how he is going to take advantage of this feature. Then he will be able to give you the order for the busy or upgrade. Just telling that there is a QR code feature will not impress the client. So you have to always tell the utility of this particular feature. And now we will see the other things. There is a add-on part, item barcode. Can item barcode be replaced with QR code? Yes, in Busy we have given that also. In item barcode you can give QR code also simultaneously and independently also. So we'll see. Item barcode, I think most of you know this feature. This is the designing part. See, this is the default what we get from the item barcode configuration. There is a barcode here. Now you want QR code instead of this barcode. This is in great demand. You go to the jewelry shop, you will find the QR code these days. In electronics also, now these days you will find the QR code. So you can design QR code and print from this utility. How you are going to do that? There is a slight change. That's it. Nothing else you have to do. The barcode module is as it is what you were doing earlier. The only change is you will come here, you will select QR code. That's it. See, it is converted to QR code. And the information that you want to put in that particular QR code, you can select from this data bit field. You want alias, you want name, anything you can select from here. The one thing you should keep in mind is that the width and the height, see it's a 9 and 9 millimeter, it should always be same. Otherwise, it won't allow you to do the configuration. It will give you message height and width of the control should be same. So it should be same. 9 and 9 you want to give 10 and 10, 11 and 11, whatever space you want to give for the QR code, but make sure this height and width is same for this QR code, because this should be in the form of the square, not the rectangle. And in the item barcode itself, if you see further, there is a composite barcode available. Where we use composite barcode? When we want to give multiple information in a single barcode. You want to give the name of the allies of the product, the sale price, the MRP, everything you want to give there in that particular composite barcode. You can design composite QR code also. Similarly, I'm not going to give you the detailed implementation because everybody knows what are the composite barcodes. Just that similar design, similar pattern, there will be composite QR code. So you can design it and take printout of the QR code. Very useful for this jewelries and this electronics. There you can go and pitch this for your sales. So this is the QR code implementation in Busy. And these are the steps that we have covered today. Now we will move forward to the next important thing that is being provided, digital signature. So this is also in great demand these days. And digital signature, it's everybody is aware actually because of the GST scenario, what the digital signature is. It's an electronic signature. Now again, knowing this only implementation part is not going to help you. You must know the advantage of the digital sign. Then you will be able to convince the client that why he need the digital signature. Just by telling the client, sir, there is a digital signature feature, you take it in Busy, he won't be interested. You have to create the demand, curiosity in the mind of the customer. So you should know the advantage. Some of the advantage I have written, then other you can Google out. Digital signature, what it does is guarantees the authenticity of the document. You know, there is a two type of document. Even if you take the manual signature, there is a document not signed by anybody. There is a document signed by the authority. That document which is signed by the proper authority is much more authenticated. There is no value of the unsigned document. Similarly, if you sign the document digitally, it will be authenticated, that it has been given by you, nothing is altered on the way, it's encrypted when it was transferred to you. Second, there is a client might ask you this question, this digital signature, are they as good and authentic as the handwritten signature? Some clients, they have old style of working actually. Those are the client which still prefer to sign the check instead of transferring the IMPS and RTGS. You will find such clients. So they might ask you that handwritten signature is much more significant. It is signed by the hand. What is the authenticity of this digital signature? Then you have to educate the customer. You have to tell the customer that digital signature is equally authenticated. Even if you are not signing by your hand, but it's equally authenticated. You can give example of the check signing and transferring through electronic way. Then you have to tell the client that there is another advantage. When you meet the client, you can pitch this. There is another advantage that when you sign the document through digital form, it can immediately be delivered to the recipient. Suppose, take an example, you are sitting in Chennai and you are some billing to some of your customer in Madurai, and he asked you, I need a signed document. What will you do? You will take the printout, you will sign it, you will courier it, the original document. See how much effort, how much time, and even the money is involved for the courier charges. Now, when you sign digitally invoice, it is automatically, immediately sent in the form of the PDF over the email to that customer, and it is as good as your this handwritten, hand signed document. So these are the few advantages that you have to keep in mind when you pitch this digital signature to your client. Now we will see further this implementation of digital signature in BUSY. You know, there are some prerequisites that you require for signing the digital signature. 3 things should be there. BUSY 18 release 6.0 or above. If you use it, try to use it in 5.6 and you try to sign digital signature, there is no feature. 6.0 and onwards will be having this feature. Then we have done integration with this third-party softwares. Ranjan sir were telling you in the beginning that we have done integration. There are 2 companies right now. So their add-on service should be installed on this system. Those are integrated with BUSY. We will show you how that integration is working. Secondly, a valid DSC. DSC is a digital signature certificate dongle. You can see this blue picture. This is DSC. This is the digital signature, and that should be placed in this USB port, and it should be detected there. Should be detected. So these are the condition. Now you need to know what are the documents that can be digital signed using this BUSY. The documents that can be signed using this feature, I have listed out. Mostly this invoice and any other document you can sign. Ledgers you can digitally sign. And you come to the outstanding analysis in the printing part. In printing part, there are 3 extra reports: statement of account, confirmation of account, and the payment reminder. These are very important documents when you are sending to somebody. So if somebody has digitally signed this, authentication is improved. It's much more authenticated. That is came from the reliable source. There is no change when it was transferred. So this is the implementation in BUSY Requesty and the document that can sign. Now we will see the detailed implementation, how we're going to do that in BUSY. Let me place this DSC dongle. I have a DSC dongle. I'm going to place it now. Okay, when you, I'm telling you, you might not be knowing, some of you, when you place this device, initially you have to install the software. If you are new to DSC, but I hope everybody must be knowing what the DSC digital signature certificate dongle is. If you are doing it, you have to install it software by like any other software, you install it. Now we were talking about the add-ons. We already have the tie-up. I will show you the very small glimpse of the add-on. There is a web e-sign of this WebTel. So you just log in into this, then you can see the display and other things and the other features. But for the BUSY purpose, we are not going to use it. We are switching back to DSC. I'm just showing you the glimpse that there is a software. We'll come to the BUSY and see the implementation in BUSY. Step by step we will see. So it's a part of the journal. There is a, you can see whether you want to digitally sign or not your document. If you say no, nothing will be signed. If you want to use this feature, you will say yes, I want to digitally sign my document. Now the configuration. Here it will show you the 2 companies, 2 vendors which are providing this service. You can have tie-up with anybody as per your convenience and suitability. For the testing purpose, for showing you, I'm using this WebTel. When we come to this second place, from where this Indra Kumar is coming, It's not inside the busy. Inder Kumar is coming from that DSC. Now busy has linked that DSC through that Webtel software. Okay, I'm not running the DSC software. There's the ePass software for DSC. I'm not running that at all. I'm not running the Webtel software. Just install them. And when you select Webtel here, you come there, Inder Kumar will be highlighted. This is the person whose digital signature is right now inside my DSC. Secondly, for security purpose, you need to give the password of your every DSC comes with a password. So that password you have to define here. Even if somebody is having your DSC, you don't know your password, he cannot use it. Now there is a string to search for digital signature. Now the question arises, where you are going to digitally sign. Let's take an example of invoice. It's a simple and most required thing. Where you are going to sign that. You cannot keep it blank that you sign it anywhere. You sign it on the top, bottom, in the between. It won't look good. So you have to specifically tell exact place where you have to sign. When we give invoice, there is a authorized signatory on the bottom. Through that, we have taken O3. And why O3? Because authorized, somebody can use Z, somebody can use S. So there can be confusion. So common part we have taken O3. What Busy will do, it will search in the invoice. Wherever it will find O3, above that it will do the digital signature. This is the logic here. You can change it. You can give any other. You can give your signatory. You can write signatory here. You can write authorized person. You can from authorized person you can select person. If accountant is written there, you can select accountant. If cashier is written there, you can select cashier. Wherever you want to print. Let's take the example of O3. How Busy is going to digitally sign the documents now. So I told you that multiple things, not only invoice, these orders, others, all the things you can sign using this feature. So let it be saved. My SQL is somehow slow today. I don't know why. So it will take a few seconds to save. Then we will begin. Okay, now it's okay. This is the invoice. And let's go for the printout. Let's take the standard. There is an option, digitally sign signature only for PDF. You cannot directly sign your printout using the digital signature. It will be done through the PDF only. Why PDF? Because this document is to be this signature is to be verified through internet. You cannot verify your printout through the internet. How the verification will be done, that also I'm going to show you. You will select this. Now I have given the command of authorize. Export. Let's see. It will take few seconds. As I told you, this SQL is somehow misbehaving. So bear with me. So I'm giving you the example of this standard edition, but you can select any standard format. You can select any format, any design format. You have this quotation, you have this order there you want to print. So anywhere you can print this digital signature. I have placed this DSC device. It's what deducted. Now we will see this printout. Let me take it to the desktop so that if it's required, we can see. It's digitally signed. Now, when you sign your document digitally, you listen carefully. If you sign your document digitally, you see there is a verifying going on. verification on the bottom. This is verified now. I will explain you. First of all, you see this digital sign here. This is the digital signature. I have given O3, so it has selected this. And above that, the document is digitally signed. Name of the person, date, time, and the digitally signed. There, you see, there is a green tick. Green tick means it is verified through internet. When I was exporting this PDF, initially it was in the form of question mark. Digital sign was there, but it will be in the form of question mark. If your computer is having internet at that time, that PDF will connect to the server, not our server, the authority server, from where the digital sign is issued. Then it will be verified whether it's original or not. If it's verified, within second you will see this green tick. If internet was not available, take an example, it is in the form of the question mark, and later on you want to do it, you can right click it and there is an option of validate signature. Using that, you can validate your signature later on also. But until that, it will be in the form of question mark. Question mark details signed invoice, you can also send it to the customer. That this is your invoice, you validate it. After receiving the invoice, your customer, he will validate it and check that whether it is authenticated or not. This is also this practical way to do that. So this is the one thing that is digitally signed, the invoice. Similarly, this concept is the same. You see this ledger is there. When you take printout, there is the option of digitally signed. In ledger, there is nothing to describe whether you want it in the top or bottom. It will be always in the left side of the bottom. Suppose you have not given here, I'll come to this part again. Suppose you have not given O3 here, where it is going to sign. It is, if it's not going to get this particular word in that particular document, it is going to sign in the left side bottom of that particular document. Left side bottom, there it will sign. So if it get O3, it will sign above O3. If you have given nothing or that particular word is not found, it will be signed on the left side, bottom side of this. So the concept is same. You come to the printing, then there is this outstanding analysis. These three: statement of account, confirmation of account, and payment reminder, you can digitally sign. So this is the concept of the digital signature. And this add-on, WebTel and Blockage, it's an external add-on. There will be pricing for that. There will be dealer margin that the concerned person will update you regarding that. And the technical part I have explained to you. Now let's move forward. Now we will see some other features. Some I will explain you verbally, some I will be doing in Busy. There is a feature of notes. This note is different from the notes manager that we are going to show you. It's not the note that the warning that your time for meeting time is there. It's different. Notes for reports. And take an example of ledger. You see you want to write down some related to that ledger. Currently, what you do, you write down in your diary. I will show you practical things. Trial balance matched on this date. What you will do, you will write in your diary. You cannot write in Busy and save it. Bill receivable. You called a customer and the customer was saying the accountant is out of the town. He will come back on 15th, call at that particular date. So where are you going to write this? You will write in Excel. You will write in your notepad. you will write in your mobile reminders, but now you can write in busy itself. Similarly, GSTR 1, 2 and 3B, GST summary, some information you want to feed it there, that there was a mismatch on this particular date, and GST payment was done for this period on this date with this challan number. You want to feed any kind of information, that also you can do. Now we will see practically in busy this feature. Again, we will come to the sample data. Somewhere it might work slow, because I told you there is a SQL issue. It's not buffering today, but we will use this sample data itself. So this is the ledger of a particular client. Now you want to add notes in this particular ledger. How you are going to do? You will press Alt N. N for Nagpur. N for Nagaland. AN. Alt N. You will press. This will be highlighted. Now you can write anything here. And it's saved. Again, you want to write anything, you press F3 and create a new note for this ledger. It will show you the date, user, what was the description. You want to change it, you can change it also here. Now, what will be the use of this note? Anytime again, you will press Alt N, you will see this note here. You can add more and more notes like that. Now, on the top, you must be seeing notes for ledger and trial balance. Means this note will also be used in trial balance. This is the same note. In trial balance, when you open, there will be list of the party. You select the party, you select Alt N, this note will open. There also you can write anything from the trial balance. So notes are common for the ledger and the trial balance. You go to this trial balance, go to the display. We'll see the all account. This is the trial balance here. And here also you can write notes. You press Alt N. For this particular party, 80G donation, you want to write something. You can write here. See, this is saved from the trial balance also. Now, if you see the ledger of 80G donation, you press Alt N, that note will be highlighted here itself. So these are linked. So this is the one thing. Other thing where you require notes is your this outstanding. Let's take this outstanding. Let's take for the group. Sunday data. Okay, let's run this report. There is a outstanding here. Now you want to write something here. These notes are not related to your ledger and trial balance. These are independent. Okay, there is a grouping of report. These notes. So these notes will be highlighted here itself, and those notes will be highlighted there itself. Okay, you press there Alt N, and you can write here. Suppose your this feature you are going for the demo, then again you know this. You should know how to pitch this to close the sale. You know, in businesses there is a practical requirement. This finance manager, or in the proprietary firm, the boss, the owner, he give the task to this account executives to call this person one by one whose payment is pending. So what they do, they call the person, and whatever the person is saying, they will write down in Excel, they will write down in notebook. So there you are going to pitch this feature. So there is no need of writing it in notebook, no Excel, all the data will be saved in Busy itself. Another thing about this notes is it will be multi-financial year. You change the financial year. If I switch the financial year, the current notes will be carried over to the next year also. There also you will be able to see the notes. It's not that this year note will not be highlighted to the next year. It will be carry forward like other things. Now we will see this GST summary. You can write notes here about GST. This is also very much required. This is also a sale pitch point. About GST, anything you want to write for the particular period, you can write down here. Credit note is pending from this customer. Okay, there is a mismatch in the ledger and the GST summary. Okay, all these things you can write down here. Cross adjustment was done on this date by which user, so that if anybody is logging, he can see there was a cross adjustment done on this particular day by this user. So it will be very much useful. Similarly, you see this. I'm showing you all the reports. GST return. You come to all 10. You write the notes here. So all the GST reports, but this GST reports notes are not party specific. This will be report specific. This is not for a particular party. This is for a particular report itself, not for a party. This is the difference. Now, what about the security purpose? You might be thinking, what is the security behind this? Anybody change the note, anybody delete the note. It's not like that. We have given the provision for that. If you create a user, there is an option, reports note not allowed to view. He will not be able to view. He can view only. He cannot edit. He can add also and view also. So this provision is also provided. There is a safety and security of the notes. You write something important about the clients, about the report. You don't want the other user to view that. What you have written. Suppose there is a payment due. We all know there is a practical scenario of this. In Delhi, we called it Kacha Pakka. There is a number one, number two. Number two is this private billing that we are doing. We don't want to show it. On a particular client, you write down this much is due. He will pay in cash or anything you have written for your reference, so that you don't forget it and you don't want anybody else to view that. You can keep it like this. So this was also an important feature. We will move to our presentation. E-way bill. Two changes have been done in E-way bill. Just a minute. Let me remove this DSC now. This two changes are done in this E-way bill management. And what are the changes? Those had been done. Now we will see today. Number one is when you print E-way bill, Busy was asking you to give the captcha. Now that captcha will not be asked and it will be print automatically. And detailed format of E-way bill printing is also given. Very quickly, I will show you. This is a voucher. E-way bill number is already generated with the details. Now when you say print e-way bill, it will be automatically printed here in this your browser. No need of captcha, and it's fast also. And from here you can download. There is a download button and there is a print button. So this is the one change that has been done. Now you can print multiple also here. You can select here one by one and you can give print multiple. Multiple will be printed like this also without any captcha. Now there is a change in the e-way bill. This new option, summary or detail. This current one is summary. It's not having the detail information. So how the detail will come out? If you select detailed here, okay, so now we have the two formats. Detail will show you the more information related to this invoice, and the format is also bit difference. So we will see both the structure. This is already open. This is the summarized one which we use now. We will see the detail. It will save in a second. Just wait. Okay. So I will be using this same invoice. Ask for printing. Okay, so previously there was a kind of hurdle when you were asked about this captcha thing. Now that has been removed. Okay, let's wait for some time. Okay, we'll use it again. Some internet issue was there. We'll try one more time. Otherwise, I will show you the formats. Okay, I already have there is some temporary server issue seems, but nothing to worry. I have this format with me. I'll show you. You can compare it easily. This is the summarized one that was taken from this data itself. You can see this detail here. There is a detailed, which is the new thing. This format is changed and you can see there is a much more information in that. So this is the new thing and these are the two changes that has been done in e-way bill. We will move quickly to our presentation. We have to cover it. We have few things left. So, okay, change in the bill receivable and payable format. Now the slip format is given for your printing. These things I will show you very quickly. Let's come to this outstanding analysis and the bill receivable. You print this from busy. Earlier there was a format, this standard party wise. Now this print wise party wise slip is already given. You select this format and let's try to take the preview. See, this is the format. If you take this format in this earlier mode, it will take 7 pages. Now it is in the 2 pages. This format has been printed. So it's much more concentrated. The information is still there, but the fonts and space are very well utilized. Very useful for the pharmacy, this FMCGs, distributors. This is very useful, especially when they have routes defined. They have salesmen going for a routes. So they don't want to carry this 7-8 pages. This is quite handy to take. This is the one change which has been done, and it will take print. First, it will do the printout on the left side, then it will come on the right side, then it will go to the next page. This is the format of printing. Another changes that has been done, let's see. Account category wise sorting is given. You see this, there is the option of party wise slip standard. There is a combined also of the earlier. There is the option of sorting it on party. This is a new option that has been provided here. In this, bill wise combined. Okay. Now, if you see, account category wise filtration that I have missed. Okay, I will show you that also. Let's run this report again. Sorting we have seen. Now account category wise we are going to see. Let's take this format. There is a sorting basis. Earlier account group wise sorting was available. Now category wise, if you have defined categories for your accounts, you have defined area in the category. So through that also you can do the sorting. Here in the slip format also you can select this sorting. So this category wise sorting is the new thing that has been provided. And this report has been reshuffled. In the current version, if you are using, then reference number was coming first, account was coming later on. Now they have been reshuffled. Account was required in the first row, first column. So we have given that. We have changed this to the number 1 position. There is another option when you see this report, sort on party wise. Bill receivable report, sort on party wise. When you see this report, you can see this party wise, the data is sorted and the total is also given. What is the requirement for this? I will tell you. If you don't sort it, let's say when you go for printing party wise, you cannot export this party wise in Excel because of the structure of the report, but you need party wise data in Excel. Then you just come here, sort this report party wise and export in Excel. This is the requirement why we have given this feature. Another thing is when you export data to Excel, there were some blank columns. Now you can fill those blank columns except numeric with the previous value. You will be able to understand when we do that in Busy itself. Let's take the simpler of example of this. See, this is a very good example. This data is blank. Okay. What is the problem with this? Problem comes when you export this data to Excel. You have to do calculation. Then with this blank rows, you will not be able to do calculation. You have to give the command to fill this blank row with the previous value. Secondly, when you give this data to your supplier or buyer and they want to integrate it with their other software ERP and they want to import it, then they will always ask you, we don't need blank rows, fill the rows. So how this is going to work, I will show you. I said export to Excel. There is an option here for blank column, copy previous non-blank values. You will say yes. Then you will export it. See the difference between busy. These are the blank rows, blank values. Now this is filled. The previous values repeated itself. Same voucher, same date that has been repeated here. This numeric value will not be repeated because it's not practical to repeat the numeric value. It will change the data. So this non-numeric value, wherever it is blank, it will search the previous value and it will replace it. So this is also quite useful purpose, especially for this who are doing online trading and they want to send data, and those have the integration with the other softwares. That problem is solved now. Another thing is this, your interest calculation report. You can deduct TDS there using the FO key. How you are going to do that, I will show you. This is the interest calculation report. Let's go for the product basis. You can use product basis or bill payable basis, anywhere you can use. Here is the option payable, disable or both. You have to select payable, otherwise it won't work. Okay, because interest you are giving on your payable, then you have to deduct TDS. See this feature, it is not related to the actual TDS feature of Busy. You see this, there is a TDS feature. It has nothing to do with this feature. These are for those clients who are not maintaining their TDS in Busy through this TDS feature. They are not submitting your FUA file, this TDS written through Busy, their audit report or their 26Q or anything. They are not taking from Busy, but they want the accounting part from this interest calculation. This is for those client only. So how this is going to work? I said my interest rate payable is 10% and TDS rate is 20%. Let's see. You will see here, it will show you the interest payable and the TDS calculated on that return. Means you have to deduct that TDS. It is just purely for the purpose of accounting. Nothing to do with TDS return. No TDS category will be described. No TDS window will be highlighted. Purely for accounting. Those clients, keep it very clear in mind. Those not using TDS feature of Busy, but they want to post accounting part automatically of the interest calculation. For those, you can pitch this. Now you see this, when you press F4, it will ask you which party you want to generate voucher. Let's say one party, selected party. Here you will define everything, your TDS account, and you will put, you see here, so I have earlier entries also. So like this interest payable is posted here for that earlier client. So this is the way this feature is working. And you can also select here for bill receivable report also. Sorry, bill payable report. And you want to select it for a single client. Single client also you can select here. You can give TDS rate. If you have the data, you can select like this. Here it will be shown here. Net interest was this and TDS collected was this. There were no interest, so it is not showing. For single account also, you can do that. So this is the interest calculation. Now another thing which is the very important thing, we have provided password for the invoice document format. This is very useful for our partner community when they go for implementation. Before implementation on demo, they design the format, they do everything. Now the client might take software from somebody else who is giving at a low price, or he might not buy. So you want your design format should not be misused. So for that, we have given this feature. Another cases can also be there, like you have designed the format, now you have done so much work on that, you don't want anybody to copy it and use it as it is. You want somebody to pay you and then use it. And another thing is that when you design the format, you don't want the clients to change the coding that you have done in the format. For that also, this feature is very useful. I will show you very quickly in Busy itself. Very simple to do that. We'll come to the invoice, advance, sale invoice. You will select the format that you want to put password, specify password. Now this is password protected. It means what? When you come here, it will ask you for the password. You cannot work in this format. Give the password. If you say I don't have password, see everything is hidden here. Everything is hidden. Suppose you want to copy. When I give password, everything is highlighted. I have copied that format. Now I want to take that format. Again, it is asking me, give me the password. This format is password protected. You cannot restore it without giving the password. So nobody can use it. Nobody can change it until they know the password. So this is also one of the feature that we have given. Serial number aging report is now with this consider the actual purchase price which have been given. It will ignore the stock transfer. I will very quickly I will show you with a data. Let's stock status. You will see this okay. This is the data that we have. You see this serial number were purchased on 1st of April. It's transferred on 10th of May. So these are the transactions that has been done here for the serial number. Let's remove this. Let's keep the two transactions here. Now if you see this serial number report for this aging, let's see the one item. There is a new option, consider actual purchase price, where you are at what date you want to see this. You can give this date. It will show you the date where it is lying. So similarly, you can increase it. Let's say make it 6. It will be moved forward. Give actual purchase date. It will move further forward. So what the logic is, when you say yes to this, it will ignore the stock transfer date. It will always pick the first in date through purchase, or when you manufacture it, first date when it came. It will ignore all the stock transfer date and other date. Otherwise, your this aging is not proper, because when you transfer from one material center to other material center, it's not a new material. It's already there in your stock. So you can use this feature of yes. GST expense voucher, there has been change. Some logics is there. Very quickly, I will show that to you. I have an expense account. GST is applicable. I have another expense account. GST is applicable. See, how it actually works is, current logic is, in whichever account the GST will be yes, those will be highlighted here. Suppose I'm showing you the current logic. Okay, let me change it a bit, and you will be able to understand it better. I will take a account GST is enabled. I will take a account GST is not applicable on this account. See, only those account is highlighted where the GST is applicable. This is the logic right now. Okay, earlier we have opened it. If it's a B2B transaction, whichever account is there in which GST is applicable or not, but if you are using it B2B, we are giving it all the accounts. So the problem was you were using round off account also. So round off was also highlighted here. Now we have changed the logic. The logic is very simple. Number one logic, wherever GST is applicable, those account will be shown here. Suppose there is no GST applicable in any of the account. In that case, first account will be picked in this window. Okay, I will repeat. Suppose there is a scenario, you have chosen the expense account and no account in, there is a yes to the GST applicability. Then in that case, first account will be shown and will be put in that GST window. This is the change that we have done. Voucher splitting, I will just explain you that if after splitting nothing is left in that voucher, then in that case that voucher was deleted. Now it won't be deleted. The header part will be saved as it is, and you can later on use that voucher. Then it's optional. You want to retain that or you want to delete that. Anybody want to see this feature or is it okay? Should we move forward or anybody want to see this feature practically? Okay, we will move forward.
Hello.
Yes.
सर जी वो आउटस्टैंडिंग का लेफ्ट एंड राइट का कॉलम है ना?
Mm-hmm.
हेलो,
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Okay, we'll take the query later on. Your voice is not coming properly. We'll take the query in the end. Let's move forward. Okay.
Okay.
There is another thing, PG Data Exchange platform. There was a problem earlier. Suppose in the source data where the data is been received, there were two units, pieces, and there were box also. And you have given the conversion of 10 pieces in make one box. And the target the target company is having this alternate feature. The source data from where the data is coming is having only one unit pieces. They are not maintaining the alternate unit. So what was happening when data was transferred from source company to target company, suppose 10 pieces, so it was making it 10 boxes, but the conversion was 1. So now it will be as per the conversion of the target company. From the source company, only 10 pieces will come. When the data will be received in the target company, it will automatically convert into the box and make it one box. This is a small change. Now these are the very small changes. I will explain you. GSTR1 JSON, you were not allowed to download for the earlier period. For the 1 month it was allowed. Now you can download it. On the demand of the partners and client, this has been opened again. Now you can download GSTR1 JSON for the earlier month, not in bulk, but one by one. Okay, these are the some small features, and you just go through these features. There is nothing to show in busy. In the invoice designing, quantity compound main packaging is been provided. Subledger screen, when the subledger window is open, it was small. Now the size is increased. You will be able to see it clearly. Monthly summary report. Through that report itself, you can do the comparison. Okay, earlier comparison was done through Control C. Now it has been changed to Alt C. You know, composition dealer, they don't get input tax credit, but monthly ITC tagging was by mistake provided to them. Now it has been removed. Similarly, accounting voucher importing and configuration for printing supplier credit note number field has been given. There was some problem when salesman was freezed in item, commission was also freezed in item, and when we convert challan into the sales, then we have to press enter on each item. This was difficult. Now there was no need of it because salesman is already commission is already defined. You just press F2, commission will be calculated automatically. Accounting voucher GST related, when you are importing new field, party account name, party expense account, that in that window, GST window, that has been provided. And now 3B and GSTR1 generated for a month of quarter. It financial year will always be written on the top. I'll show you this. It will be much clear. Let's generate the you will see this financial year is also shown now. Earlier it was not shown. April was shown, but 1920 was not shown. Now it will be shown. This is the change. E-way bill management, party name is also shown. I will show you. This party name was not shown earlier. 1, 2, 3, number 4th column. So this is now shown in this e-way bill management. Then there is a minor change, a GST1 reconciliation. TDS references decimal places included. TDS applicable in modifying mode was not working properly. Now it will work. Bulk payment utility round of amount is given. This I will clear. This round of amount is given when you are using bulk payment utility with this our consignment module. There you can round off the payment. So this is the things that we have discussed today. Some important feature in this busy 18.6.0 release. Now anybody is having any thing to ask, what they can do, they can write down in this box, then we will answer that queries. Anybody has any query, you can ask now related to this today's topic that we have shown to you. You can ask me, or you want to write down, you can write down in the chat box, or you can ask me directly.